Hello, everyone who is seeing this interview. This is a new concept. This is known as Success Lab, sponsored by Learning Minds. And I am Dr. Arif Pyarali, Director Training Solution, Learning Minds. And in this, the Success Lab, the entire concept of it is that we are engaging and interviewing best-selling authors, global best-selling authors, and understanding how their wisdom, how their ideas, and how their strategies can help an individual, a team, or an organization succeed in their culture or succeed in general. And today we have a speaker which is a humble friend. We met last year in our neuro-linguistic programming training in Thailand, and since then he has proven to be one friend, one author I can look up to, and one author who has ideas on daily basis. We have today Coach Myke Celis, who is an ICF International Coach Federation certified master coach and the #1 international best-selling author. He has 4 thriving businesses, so he is a serial entrepreneur, and he has 4 international best-selling books of hashtag best me ever. And I have read one of his books, and I can assure you that he has some wisdom in him, and he can share those ideas smoothly, flawlessly. And that's not pretty much it. He is a prodigy of TEDx speaking marathon. He has done up till now 13 and counting TEDx speaking stunts, and including Japan, Indonesia, and Malaysia. So without further ado, let's get into this conversation and welcome our guest for today, Coach Myke Celis.
Hello. Hi, Aaron.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Long day for me, but this one tops.
First of all, I would like to extend my gratitude towards you sparing out your time and knowledge for the audience who is listening. And thank you for sharing your ideas with the people who are ready to progress, who are ready to thrive, and who are ready to move forward from this pandemic situation, or which we call it the COVID-19 stress, that as it is. Okay, so Myke, your 4th book, if I'm not wrong, is coming out, and that is Best Me Ever: Powerful Questions to Know Yourself. Is that right?
It's coming out this coming 19th of July. And
Okay.
I'm quite excited because it would be for international release, and hopefully it becomes another bestseller.
Hopefully, and I am sure that it would become another international bestseller. So all my prayers and our prayers
Fingers
are with
crossed.
you. Yes. Okay, so Myke, first of all, the first question I have to ask, and I'm asking all the authors I'm interviewing right now, that why the concept of Best Me Ever came. So how you got to the point where you said that my first book or my book series would be known as Best Me Ever. What's the story behind that?
I started using hashtag best me ever way back in 2015 as a form of coping with whatever I was going through back then, because I came from a dysfunctional family, being bullied in school, a betrayal of a friend which left me almost bankrupt, and a physically abusive relationship. So during the time when everything else seemed to be not working exactly the way I wanted to, I found myself at the lowest point in my life and started using hashtag best year ever. Initially, because my goal then was just to make it through about the lessons I've learned in life with regards to my not so pleasant experiences, a lot of people started resonating with them. And before I knew it, I reached December 31st, and suddenly I had fans. I had people asking me to know to post more. I had people messaging me privately telling me that they resonated well with my daily posts on Facebook. And then I kind of figured out that when January 1st arrives, what would I do then? Would it be hashtag best year ever year two? I'm like, doesn't sound good. So I took a step back and I reflected and realized that maybe it's not about the timeline. Maybe it's not about the people who hurt me. Maybe it's not about the situations I experienced, but rather it was about myself. So that's why I started using hashtag best me ever. And my publisher saw me then and saw the engagement I had on my Facebook wall and asked me to have it published. And that jump started my journey towards becoming a global master coach as well. So ever since, from a personal hashtag, I have transformed it into a coaching platform across multimedia. So whether hosting, whether speaking, or whether writing, and doing everything else in between, it's all about bringing out that hashtag best me ever, your unapologetic, authentic unicorn self.
And I agree with you. And you are one wonder kid of Philippines, isn't it? Whatever you touch, I don't know, but it converts into gold. So you are into writing, you are into speaking, you are into coaching, you are also you are an entrepreneur. So whatever and wherever you go, you start to make things happen. And that's one of the qualities of you, which landed you in Learning Mind Success Lab. And me, I'm honored to have you as a
Thank you
guest.
so much.
So, Coach Myke, this is something really insightful and very conscious and reflective of you, that you step back and understand that you can't say that best year ever 2.0. It's not a version or not a software update every single year. And so you step back from the situation you were in. That's that's very conscious of you in doing that.
Mm-hmm.
So my first question is that, so you have a series of books. You have known what is happening in the world right now in sort of the depression or the recession. How your book, Best Me Ever, can help an individual in surviving or thriving in this particular situation.
The good thing about my book is that it's very reader friendly to begin with. So I wrote it in such a way that I would be able to appreciate it because, on a personal note, my attention span is very short. So I do not like reading long chapters, with too many words. I want it to be short as if they hear me speaking. And I think that's the beauty of it because that means I managed to leave all the platforms. Now, on how my book can actually change them, it's so my last two books are interactive books, which ask questions that would trigger from the readers. The beauty of it is that during the pandemic, when you read through those questions and answer your reflections, you are able to discover a part of yourself that you've never known before. And coming from that space, you're able to take responsibility for your actions because you yourself found it out. It's not dictated by anyone else. It was all about journeying towards, the most important person in the room, which happens to be yourself to begin with.
Hmm. So in addition to that, because you said it's a very user-friendly and reader-friendly book with small
Mhm.
chapters and people can get into it, can you share some strategies or some ideas or some, for example, tips an individual can apply in their daily lives and that can help them succeed in life in general?
Okay. Um, I'm a big fan of self-care, and writing and reading a book is actually a form of it. My book teaches everyone to take a step back each and every time they are faced with a decision. The COVID-19 pandemic has caused everyone to panic, to live in fear, to be anxious, to be confused. My book actually teaches them to take a step back, own your space, and flourish thereafter. The best lesson that one can actually get from the book that they can apply every single day, apart from reflecting first, is to always come from their authentic self. Meaning, you only have to remember one important question. Would my decision make me feel happy, complete, and fulfilled? If the answer is yes, go for it. If the answer is no, park it. It's that easy.
You make it sound really easy, and that's the beauty of talking to you, because I remember when we were in Thailand, and Luke
Mm-hmm.
was training us, and I remember that the difficult questions in life which I was very hesitant to ask, but you were very swiftly asking them, and you were moving forward with them. So that's the beauty of talking to you. uh, so Myke, tell me one thing. If this best me ever, this concept, if an organization wants to implement in their culture, or in their department, in their teams, how they can align their idea, your ideas, with their culture or with their teams, how they can do that?
I think the beauty of hashtag best me ever, whether it's the book series or my coaching program, is that it teaches each and everyone to lead with knowing your values, knowing what you really want, what you're meant to be, and everything else. Now, cohesively, if each and everyone in the team knows who and what he or she is meant to be and what is the bigger picture altogether, then there would be harmony, and there is no need to compete with each other because each one would be secured in his space as he leads from within.
So let's suppose, and I'm asking on the behalf of people, majority of the people who are not happy with what they do, or who do not know their values, or are not aligned according to their values. Uh, does your book help people out in those contexts as well?
It My book helps people realize what they really want in life and what they're really meant to be to begin with. I believe that that is the most important thing to know, because if you're going through life without any greater purpose, meaning you live through life just on a daily basis, just passing through and letting things be, you wouldn't get to a point wherein you would feel happy, complete, and fulfilled. My book, being very reflective, would allow you to realize, why do you wake up each and every single day, and what are you really meant to be, so that when you hold on to that greater thought, you are directed accordingly, and each of your decision would be anchored on responsibility and purpose, and that makes the journey beautiful altogether. Is it applicable for everyone? There's always a starting point, because the good thing about hashtag best me ever is that it recognizes the fact that everyone is different. Your version of hashtag best me ever may be different than mine, but it doesn't mean that you can't take your journey at your own pace and own your own space.
Wow. So owning my own space. And so with that, I just want to know that, so what's coming next after this powerful questions of knowing thyself, that is releasing in July. What are you planning after that?
Um, I'm concentrating right now on going global and just formulating a website that would feature, my column would be out next month, and it would be featuring successful coaches, inspiring stories, and I would be talking about coaching in between and things like those, and help change the world and make it a better place to live in.
Beautiful. I think so. That's one inspiring story. You started from somewhere most people would have quit, actually, but you started from somewhere. You were reflective. You were conscious. You turned out. You expressed your ideas to the public. They started getting what you were trying to say, and you converted your expressions into a book which everyone in this world can relate, can understand their purpose, their value and responsibility. Specifically in these times of depression or recession, where someone can lose the sight of their true north. Your book, because I have read it, I can recommend it. Your book actually helps them find their true north and keep at that when the times are uncertain, difficult, and challenging. And for the organizations who wants to get aligned with their teams cohesively, can actually do that very simplistically by understanding the purpose and the responsibility, or if I may say, the accountability of that particular team member. So, Myke, Coach Myke, I think so. We are pretty much done over here. As I said, it was a pretty short interview because I wanted to spread as much ideas out there to people who are ready to listen, people who are progressive, people who are actually willing to move forward and thrive in this uncertain situation. So before I end the interview, any closing comments or any last words from your end?
I always say the same thing over and over again, whether I'm doing a TED talk, I'm doing a hosting stint, or interviews like this. I always remind everyone that wherever you are at this point in your life right now, whatever you've been through, whatever you're going through, and whatever still awaits, know that it's okay simply because it's part of the journey and you're on your way to becoming your own hashtag best me ever.
And that's the closing sentence I was looking for. Thank you so much, Coach Myke Celis, and I hope, I
Thank
pray
you.
in future we could co-author something on the same lines if your publisher allows, and
Uh-huh.
we and we can work something out with there. So thank you so much for sparing out time and knowledge, and people who are listening to us. This was Coach Myke Celis. He's a serial entrepreneur, best-selling author of 4 consecutive books of Best Me Ever series, and he is a prodigy in TEDx speaking. So if someone is out there and wants to understand how to get into TEDx speaking engagement, I can assure you he's the guy. He has already done 13 stints for that, including Japan, Indonesia, and Malaysia. So, Coach Myke Celis, thank you so much. And I'm sure we would be engaging
Thank you.
you in another interview of sorts in the coming times. All the best for your new book. Finger crossed, and I hope and I pray that it becomes a huge success. With that, Dr. Arif Pyarali, signing off from Learning Minds Success Lab. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Myke. It's a pleasure interviewing you.
Thank you.